over a green leaf, Morocco celebrates the launch of its Charter for the Environment. The idea is to raise public awareness and to set about preserving the country's natural riches. Not always easy when that may mean curbing the economy. Hello and welcome to this special edition of Environment, brought to you from this North African nation. In this show, we'll be looking at a disappearing nutrient, phosphate. It has helped spur agricultural gains for decades. Morocco has the largest remaining reserves of the mineral, but is exporting it by the billion. At what cost to its environmental heritage? We'll find out in this show. Next, economy and ecology clash again as tree traffickers take trunks out of Morocco's cedar forests, putting one of the world's largest reserves of cedars in danger. Finally, we'll be looking at a resource that Morocco is not so rich in. It's water. As towns mushroom in the Western Sahara, salt is now being removed from the sea in order to provide a clean, clear liquid that's fit for consumption. So first up, the rubbing of wood that is currently threatening trees here in Morocco. A band of not-so-merry men are currently trying to take back control of the cedar forests as they are under attack from a cedar mafia.
Cedar forests are among Morocco's national treasures. They spread over some 330,000 acres, notably in the Atlas Mountains, home to the largest cedar forests in the Mediterranean. Cedars help protect local ecosystems, maintaining the quality of water, soil, and wildlife. Despite this vital role, the tree's survival is threatened. In the Tiqajouin region, thousands of cedars are illegally felled by poor farmers each year for firewood and construction. These men claim a local cedar mafia is behind the trafficking scheme, a mafia they relentlessly stand up against. Saïd Et Aziz, an environmentally minded peasant, regularly tours the forest to try to discourage tree poachers.
With the erosion of the soil, the forest will eventually disappear. Flooding will increase and destroy fertile and arable lands. Peasants and farmers won't have anything left to do here.
A local human rights activist helps farmers combat woodcutting. He says poverty is behind illegal felling, but traffickers seem to forget that it takes several decades for cedars to grow back, if at all.
People do this because they can't find work. The only way they have found to support their families is to cut trees and sell them on the black market. My organization is demanding that the state and the local authorities especially find jobs for these people, because when they have jobs, they'll stop cutting cedars.
Despite its abundant natural resources, both land and water, Morocco's Middle Atlas is one of the poorest regions. The village of Tiqajouin is no exception. No asphalt on the roads, no running water. Villagers don't even benefit from the proceeds of legal woodcutting. They claim that local officials are corrupt and that forest rangers turn a blind eye to the plundering of cedars in exchange for money. A former ranger with the High Commission for Water and Forests explains,
Look around you. This is why forest rangers take bribes. They don't have the means to do their job properly. Look at this company car. Their pay is very low as well. And look at their living conditions.
At the village school, children are taught to protect forests. They learn to read by repeating the following sentence: preserving the environment is a national duty. Whether they'll find work tomorrow or be tempted to join the ranks of cedar plunderers remains to be seen. One thing is for sure, the future of Morocco's cedar forests depends on these children.
Well, we've now come to what is Morocco and indeed the world's largest phosphate mine. Here behind me, this machine is taking away soil to get down to the precious mineral. Well, Morocco mines millions of tons of phosphate every year, mostly for fertilizer for crops. But phosphate is a finite resource, and globally experts say the shortage is coming. However, here the message is clear: there is enough to go around, and Morocco is ready to conquer new markets with its precious resource. A gigantic mechanical bucket, 45 metres in height and weighing 3,300 tonnes. The dragline's job is to remove the topsoil that covers the precious phosphate ore, 40 tonnes in every scoop. This machine consumes as much energy as a sizable town. Impressive, but not exactly the figures that this company wants to highlight. It is with pride that Hassan Deranoun drives around this massive open-air mine, which spans 6,000 hectares, 4,000 of which remain untouched. A rich resource that is almost mistaken for petrol.
So behind me, where we clean the petrol, from the mine we transport the petrol on this... Hey, it's phosphate! Yeah, that's what I meant. So you see on these conveyor belts here, that run some 25 kilometers from the mine. They transport the phosphate and send it to these turbines to be washed.
But this mine is in the process of updating its technology. Soon pipes will transport the phosphate from here to the fertilizer factory, a change that will mean huge reductions in energy and gas emissions.
We'll reduce CO2 emissions by about 500,000 tons a year. And we'll save about 11 million cubes of water. 11 million cubes of water is about what it takes to provide for a town of some 200,000 people.
The pipes will also put an end to the ballet of trucks and trains currently sweeping the site's dusty roads. Morocco is the world's third largest producer and biggest exporter of phosphate, sending it to Brazil, Asia, and looking increasingly at markets closer to home.
Africa is the region that uses the least amount of fertilizers, and we know that the population explosion all over this region will have an impact on the agricultural needs. We feel we're an important part of this chain.
World demand for the mineral that is currently indispensable for agriculture is around 40 million tonnes a year. In Morocco, they say they have enough phosphate to supply demand for at least the next 5 centuries. A long time, but it takes 70 million years for phosphate to form. Well, this phosphate factory is expanding and currently constructing waterworks plants that it says will be powered by the excess energy from fertilizer production. The desalination plant will provide clean, clear liquid to hundreds of homes. Indeed, taking salt water from the sea has become a necessary measure in this dry country.
This is Laayoune, the largest city in the Western Sahara. Although its Arabic name means the springs, the city no longer has sufficient water resources to meet its population's needs. Located just a dozen kilometers from the Atlantic Ocean, it's the perfect place for a large desalination plant, providing clean drinking water for all its inhabitants.
Desalinating the seawater is crucial because we rarely get more than 50 millimeters of rain a year. The people here used to get their drinking water from wells scattered around the desert, and this water was often very salty.
The city's population's grown from 33,000 people in 1994 to more than 200,000 today. It's for this reason the plant's expanding again. By the end of June, it will be able to generate 26,000 cubic meters of drinking water, double what it produces currently. They use a desalination process called reverse osmosis. This involves pushing seawater through a semi-permeable membrane to remove the salt. Everything's controlled by a computer here, a vital system for the people of this arid desert region.
Well, that brings us to the end of this edition. A big thanks to everyone who worked on it, notably Eric José and Jiong Chim. Thanks also to you at home for having joined. It's now time for us to leave Morocco and its massive machinery. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again next time.